So a lot of times when things are going well, Kelly, Optimal, and Secure will have you betting more because remember, you're recalculating these upon every trade. So the F value will change on every trade. And when things are going fine, Kelly's ramping up, Optimal F is ramping up, and Secure F. Now, let's talk about what Secure F is. It's again, it's Kelly, it's Optimal, but what it does, and you can see throughout the data series, just take a look at that. This is the green. It's a lot more smooth. It's a lot closer to, I'm going to say, the don't bet line, the 0, than the other two on average. And what it does is it installs confidence intervals, right? So it looks at each trade and it scales the F based on confidence intervals. So we're talking z-score and standard errors based on the data you have. So Optimal F uses that same sets of parameters because it's looking at it in each individual trade, and it's recalculating the maximum you want to bet, which a lot of times, unfortunately, is greater than Kelly. And that's why it's dog shit, because anything ever greater than Kelly is probably dog shit. But Secure F uses a confidence interval. So a Secure F, you don't actually whittle it down to one number. Well, you do, but that one number is paired with a confidence interval. And if you want to change your confidence interval, you'll get a different number, right? And we're going to get into some specifics of my actual trades. This isn't one. This is just one that's been fornicated for you up on the screen. An example, if you will. So you can see that when things are going well, right, all three just tell you to bet more and more. But when things start to go bad, you can see over here on call it trade 150, you've got your Optimal F is telling you to bet significantly greater than your Kelly F. That's why it's dog shit, right? So it's still having you overbet because it's looking at the specifics of each individual trade, not an average. Now, let's look at the equity curve on this right around trade 150. So trade 150, right around here, look at Optimal F. It's got you in a greater drawdown than the Kelly F. So you know all this stuff these guys were talking about? You notice it didn't help you? Now, that's the way it is, but these guys don't understand it. And let's just face it, virtually no one on YouTube is going to understand this because you can hardly find videos on this type of stuff at all. And when you do, it's dog crap like the stuff you just saw. So when things are going well, all right, it may have you betting greater than Kelly. It may have you betting less than Kelly. It kind of depends on the order of those trades because it's not an average. And it depends on the volatility. It depends on the size of the gains. So Optimal F is all over the place. But thinking Optimal F is going to save you. That's why I'm showing you these plots here, these graphs. You can see very well the equity curve on the Optimal F. You're actually getting greater drawdown than with the Kelly. And you can tell that's going to happen just by looking at this, or at least if you look at it long enough. Now look at the more secure F that's taking into account a certain level of confidence based on the volatility of your trades. All right, well, right here on that trade 150, well, you're worse off than Kelly, but you're significantly better off than Optimal. Now, you're worse off than Kelly because in this series of random trades, okay, things were really good at first, and then they started to get worse. So there's going to be some lag time here, depending on how the future unfolds. And you guys can see the future unfolding here on a random series of events here. You can see here Secure F is almost always ahead of Kelly. Now, the only reason why it's behind here is because this is a period of time where you're going to get into an overbetting because all of your models are a little too good for what's about to happen, right? And you don't know what's about to happen, which is why you want to do the safe or secure methodology, Secure F. So let's look here again. Oh, by the way, you notice we're at 0, now we're negative. What's happened here is now we've flipped where you no longer have an edge, so we're actually going short. So Kelly right here after 150 is putting on the largest shorts followed by optimal F, followed by secure F. And it keeps that up until around, let's just say around 210, 220. So let's see what's happening here. So at this point is where that 210, 220, secure F finally catches up to optimal, or sorry, secure F finally catches up to the full Kelly. So it didn't matter what Kelly gained, it threw it all away. So you have a smoother equity curve on secure F and you haven't missed a thing, because reality is going to bite like that. And optimal F, you're just sucking dog crap. And the reason why is you've overbet on the way up, and then you continue to overbet quite a bit on the way down. A lot of times you're betting more than Kelly, and it shows in your equity curve. All right, you just tend to pound out. Now look at it is smoothing down. These things are all smoothing out. Right? So is that causing you to go to zero even though you're starting to lose a lot of money? No, it's smoothing out. Why? Well, because these values are getting a lot closer to that zero line. So, you're long up here, short down here, but you're talking 5% of your capital. So it's telling you to bet smaller. So this going to zero, you can see how telling you to bet smaller, you may be losing, you may be underwater, but you're not going to zero, because all three of these things, they're designed to keep you safe. Right? If you're following it, if you're recalculating it on every trade. And what do we do? What's happening here on trade 250? Now we're going to increase the volatility. So now why I did that is we keep the average annual return at 15%, but your volatility explodes. So now you're way out of model. You're way, way, way out of model. So what ends up happening after volatility explodes? Let's take a look at the equity curves. Well, you can see again, the Kelly and the optimal F just continue to lose more money, and the secure doesn't. And you can see it, it's all right here. These things are betting way too much, and they start to lose, and they don't pull it back in time. Whereas secure F, because it's using a confidence interval, it looks at the individual returns coming in upon each trade, and it's going, hey, these things are not matching what I currently am looking at. Therefore, I'm not that confident in the model. So we're going to pull this sizing back. That's what secure F does. Doesn't it make sense to use secure F? Doesn't it? And now we are increasing the volatility. And actually, now look at this. Even though this thing is making an annual 15% positive return, this model is so upside down now. It's actually telling you to short through all this. And the Kelly and the optimal are telling you to short, compared to secure F, a lot greater size. But the volatility is all over the place. Well, you're on the right side of the trade, so you stop going down, but your volatility is all over the place. And if volatility remains, right, secure F is just going to say, this is dog shit. We're not going to bet a whole lot. And you can see here, it's right around that zero. Like, it's just the F value, the F fraction, is very close to no trade, right? Which is why you get very close to losing no funds again. So it's just a better methodology. Recalculating secure F. It's just a better methodology to use. And you can see optimal F did nothing for you, but ended up lagging, overbetting most of the time, despite what these guys said on the YouTube video. And I'm not saying it can't do better than Kelly. It can, okay? But if things don't maintain in your favor, and you know they won't, it's going to lag. It's going to overbet constantly. Optimal F is worse than a reasonable fraction Kelly. And secure F, in my estimation, is better than the lot, because it uses confidence intervals. You can adjust those confidence intervals when you're looking at stuff like this, and you'll actually be looking at stuff like this on your confidence intervals, because you're looking for this F value, and you will see roughly where you should be. And now, I don't know if this is video part 3, friggin' 4, who the frick knows, we're off the rails here. I'm going to show you how this plays out in some actual trades from securities that I have on. All right, now you're getting a serious sneak peek on the inside of the system. So what you're looking at here is a series of Bitcoin trades, and you guys know we all trade that. So the top left would be all the short trades that we have on this thing in our data set. Top right, all the long trades. And the bottom here is the secure F values. So these are all secure F values for all the trades amalgamated. So remember, this secure F and optimal F look at each individual trades, and they have to be put in chronological order. So if that wasn't obvious to you, that's what's going on here. So I do all the short trades separate from the long trades so I can see what's going on with both of those. But then we amalgamate them in chronological order. One downside that we have here is it does require a certain amount of trades before you get some sort of smooth curve. Now you guys saw on the previous portion of the video that made up set of charts that I showed you. There was 500 trades there, and you can see just how volatile and all over the place those trades are. So that's some pretty raw and nasty data, but it gives you an idea of what we're looking at here with the different F values for the different methodologies of calculation, just so you can understand what's going on here and what I would term the best one to use, the secure F. So the problem you've got here is you need a number of trades. So these are the short trades. Now we've got 30 trades evidently on the short side here on this particular data set. You can see we're kind of going bottom left, top right. We're working it up. And this is at the 95% confidence interval. That's where you'd like to be. Now the problem is if you don't have enough trades, let's take a look at the longs here. I have 36 trades, but if you don't have enough trades, or if the volatility of those trades is too much, you'll get zero, don't trade. So what you can do here on the secure F is if you lower the confidence value, you'll be able to get an idea with lesser confidence of, is this thing a bet at all? So you can see the red dashed line here. It's the as traded equals 1 Kelly. So understand here, guys, when I'm doing this calculation, you've got to do a lot of stuff. Obviously, before this, you've got to actually do enough to produce the trades, and you have to choose a Kelly trade size. So I don't get confused. I make that pretty explicit. In these graphs here, as traded equals 1 Kelly. I'm not trading 1 Kelly here. As a matter of fact, I'm trading, I think, 12% of 1 Kelly. And I think this, I'll show you how I can see that here. You don't see it on these charts, but I'll show you in a second. So we're talking, this is the fraction, 12%, let's call it 1/10 of a Kelly, to get secure F values close to what I actually am trading, which is the red dotted line. Now you'll notice, you might be thinking, well, hey, you should be trading half of the short. And I don't know, maybe a third of the long to make sure you're midpoint in the data. Yes and no. Put them together and see what happens. Now we put them together, which is how you're actually going to trade, because let's just assume you're going short and you're making money because Bitcoin is dropping, and then it starts to stop, it goes sideways. You might be chopping, so you might be losing some money on the short and the long, but it starts to go back up again. All right, the short's going to stop trading, but now your long's going to start working. So they work together in tandem. So when you put them together, you're likely going to get, as an overall package, you will get, if these things make any sense on the short and the long, any sense at all, when you put them together in chronological order, first of all, you're going to get a larger number of trades, so you're going to get a more stable value as the trade count progresses. But you're also going to see, are you in the ballpark as an overall trade? And you can see right here, yes, we are. We're bebopping above and below the as traded value. So how do I get my as traded value? And I'm just going to show you right here, my as traded F value. I'm going to show you this right here. So this is an equity curve based on $100,000, and here's your drawdown on the second pane here of what trading at long and short. And by the way, that's it right here. 12% of the full Kelly trade is our as Kelly traded, or as traded 1 Kelly here. This is why you've got to be specific so you don't get your 1 Kelly in one instance and your 1 Kelly in another instance wrong.